All right, this is Dale. This is day number 8, video number 7. And the reason why is because the 7th day was a rest day on my Hale Higdon schedule. The 7th day was Sunday, so I didn't make a video. So you can stop looking for it. It's not there. But today I was back at it. So I guess it's week 2. Started off with a 3-mile run today. 3 miles in 35 minutes, which I'm pretty happy with that. I can see myself improving quite a bit. My marathon that I'm running is November the 4th in Wynne, Arkansas. I'm going to do a half marathon. Let me make sure I'm clear on that. But I want to talk about excuses. And sometimes it's so easy as runners to make an excuse why we didn't go today. And I've talked about before, just get in the habit, making it just like you brush your teeth, you comb your hair, you get dressed, you floss, all these things, you don't even think about it. You don't even question where you're going to do it. You don't go to work and go, I'm sorry, I didn't have time to brush my teeth today. You brush your teeth, you make time, you might be a minute late, but you do what you got to do. Last night I was looking at the weather, and it was raining in our neighborhood pretty hard around midnight, and my wife, she brought up the Weather Channel, and there it is, scattered thunderstorms, and there it is. Immediately I got an excuse not to go. A few days before, I had told my wife, said, what, I don't like running. I really don't. And she goes, but you go all the time. She says, well, why are you doing it? I said, because I don't like weighing 366 pounds. I don't like having high blood pressure. I don't like taking all this medicine. And I don't like being in my 40s and worrying if I'm going to have a stroke or a heart attack, and not have use of my arm. Those are things I don't like. So I went and ran today. Even though it was dark clouds hanging all over and looked like it was going to bust out and rain on me any minute, I just figured, well, I'm hardcore. I'm not making excuses. I'm going. Proverbs says that the sluggard looks out and he says there's a lion in the streets. There's a lion in the streets. Well, I promise you, if I looked at my window and I actually seen a lion standing in my front yard, I might not have went today. But there was no lion. It was just an excuse. I used to have a friend that used to say, that's your excuse, but what's the reason? We've made excuses ain't a new thing. We've been making excuses forever. All the way from the beginning of time, Adam and Eve made excuses why they ate the fruit of the tree. Adam pointed at Eve and Eve pointed at the serpent. We make excuses. They call it the blame game. And sometimes we don't have nobody to blame, but we just look at ourselves and we say, I'm incapable. I can't do it. That's what Moses did. Moses looked at himself and he said, God, who am I? I'm just Moses. He says, really, Aaron's the one you want. He's the good speaker. I stutter when I speak. He says, I'm not your one. And God says, no, Moses, you're my man. You're my man. We got to be careful playing this excuse game, because we'll go a long way in making excuses and blaming others or circumstances or situations of why we haven't done what we committed to do. I can tell you, Jesus gave a parable of the talents. He gave one man 5 talents. The Lord gave one man 5 talents. The Lord gave another one 2 talents, and he gave another one 1. He was gone for a period of time, and he came back to check on the one that had 5 talents. He says, I've invested your 5 talents, and I've actually doubled them. Now you have 10. He says, man, well done, good and faithful servant. He goes, that's awesome. He goes, enter in. He goes to the man that received 2 talents, and the man that received 2 talents had also doubled his talents, and now the Lord had 4 talents. And so the Lord was happy. He says, this is wonderful. Let's celebrate. He goes, enter in. And he came to the one that only had 1 talent. He had 1. And immediately this one that had 1 talent begins to play the blame game and starts offering excuses. He says, Lord, I knew what a difficult man you were. I knew what a shrewd investor you were, and how you reap where you have not even sown. And he goes, and so I was in fear that I would lose this talent. So I took it and I buried it in the ground, and I didn't do anything with it, but here's your 1 talent back. And the Lord wasn't pleased with that. The Lord wasn't pleased with that. As a matter of fact, he said, you wicked and lazy serpent. Or you wicked and lazy servant. I'm sorry. Do away with the excuses. If you're lazy, you're lazy. If you're wicked, you're wicked. But let's don't blame the Lord. You see how far that goes. So here's what we're going to do. Commit to doing what you're going to do. You set out to set a goal. You got something you want to accomplish. It's not going to be accomplished in the bed or on the couch. It's not going to be accomplished tomorrow. It's going to be accomplished today. So, I hope this encourages you. The one thing that helps me making these videos is that it keeps me accountable. I know I got to make another video, And so, God bless. Have a great day.